4 lethal meats you must never handle, and 4 to eat every day if you are 60 and beyond. You've been misled. Older persons have been told for decades that lean meats are the safest option. Doctors prescribe them. They're presented in hospitals. Nutritionists recommend them as clean and suitable protein sources. But the ghastly reality exists here. Seniors don't know that nearly all the most sacred meats are secretly harming their kidneys, hurting their joints, and accelerating loss of memory faster than age itself. And the bad one doubles your risk of mental decline, even if you have it only once a week. One small bite, one simple mistake, year after year, and by the time symptoms do finally appear, too much time has elapsed. But food manufacturers continue to market it, doctors continue to prescribe it, and older adults continue to consume it, none the wiser that they are perpetuating the damage. Why? Because confusion is big business. Processed meat is cheap, easy to store, highly profitable, and no one is warning you yet. Today, in this video, we will expose the 4 meats that sneakily destroy your organs, and the 4 healing meats that can even mend the damage, all backed by science, listed from detrimental to life-threatening, and from healing to life-altering. The most effective healing meat even regenerates collagen faster than supplements and reverse knee pain in older patients by nearly half in just 2 months. Before we begin, leave your age and location in the comments below. We are reading and answering every comment with customized advice for your situation. Now we get to the 4th meat on the list of danger. And trust me, they don't want you to know about this one. Number 4, turkey breast. Most older adults perceive turkey breast to be one of the healthiest meats available. It is low in fat, rich in protein, and highly advertised as the ultimate lean meat for the cardiovascular system. Deli counters slap 97% fat-free labels on it, and physicians offhandedly prescribe it as part of clean eating. But the secret is actually here. Much of store-bought turkey slices are ultra-processed, preservative-filled, and chemically treated in ways that quietly raise blood pressure, stiffen arteries, and damage kidneys over the long haul. Even so-called natural versions typically include sodium phosphate, a substance that preserves shelf life but also overloads your blood with phosphate. Excessive phosphate pushes your bones to release calcium in an attempt to balance out, which is horrible after 60 when bone density is already depleted. In a 2021 Journal of Renal Nutrition review, older people consuming more than 75 milligrams daily of added phosphate from processed meats watched their kidneys decline nearly 30% more rapidly after 2 years. One deli turkey sandwich will give you twice that much in one serving. If you are a turkey fan, don't lose hope. You don't have to abandon it entirely, but replace deli slices with fresh home-roasted turkey with no added salt or preservatives. Don't use smoked or cured types, and if you must buy prepackaged slices, examine labels carefully for phosphates, nitrates, or artificial flavorings, all of which are giant red flags. Take Susan, for example, and if you find that terrifying, the next meat is even more popular and even more destructive. Some doctors even prescribe it to you as a health food in place of red meat beef, especially when they trim away the fat. But few people are aware of the destruction this meat is causing in your nervous system, your kidneys, and your detoxification systems. Here is the terrifying truth. Veal, especially veal kidneys or liver, contains some of the highest levels of heme iron and purines of any meat. Heme iron is the iron in blood-rich foods. Your body requires some, but excess amounts produce oxidative stress, a form of internal rusting that harms cells and accelerates the aging process of your organs. Excess purines raise uric acid, leading to joint pain and kidney stones. Number 3, bacon. No stranger to the scene now. Bacon, the crackly, crunchy comfort food that provides breakfast with that ultimate oomph. One of America's most consumed meats, especially among older adults who grew up with it. But here is the reality. Bacon is likely the most inflammatory artery clogging meat you can eat once you are over 60. And what precisely makes it so tempting is also why it is so deadly. Bacon is packed with nitrites, sodium, and saturated fat. These substances, when mixed with stomach acid, create nitrosamines, which are toxins that initiate colon and stomach cancer. But there is more. In elderly individuals, they also accelerate arterial calcification, or the stiffening of arteries, decreasing oxygen supply to both the brain and the heart. Seniors who ate processed foods like bacon on average 3 times per week, according to a 2022 study in Circulation, had essentially 1/3 higher coronary artery calcification levels and more than 1/5 increased risk of silent strokes, the kind that damages memory before you ever know what is happening. If bacon is your weak spot, have it only once a week at most. Always fry it to just crisp, and never burn it because burned bacon yields even more nitrosamines. A better choice is air. Fried turkey bacon from a nitrate. Free product or crispy strips of tofu, marinated with smoked paprika. It doesn't taste the same, but it saves your arteries. Meet George, a 72-year-old retired firefighter from Georgia. Having experienced a mild stroke, he attended a recovery seminar at his local senior center. One of the dietitians there presented him with a pamphlet reading, "Bacon, your silent stroke risk." That information bothered him. He returned home and threw the bacon in his fridge away. His daughter offered him nitrate, free turkey bacon the following day. It was not quite the same. But, he continued, 1 year on, his cholesterol dropped from 217 to 176, and he walks 3 miles every day without the mental confusion he previously suffered. Following is a meat more slyly packaged. It is marketed to diabetics and older people as the perfect protein, but it may be poisoning your liver in ways you never even imagined. Number 2. Grilled skinless chicken breast. Yes, you heard right. Skinless chicken breast, the one flesh nearly all of our elders rely on when they are attempting to eat clean, may be doing more damage than good. Sounds harmless. High protein, low fat, skinless, grilled rather than fried. But here is the horrifying reality. If it is from factory farming, which more than 99% of them are in the United States, you are likely to be eating residues of antibiotics, synthetic hormones, and inflammatory omega-6 fats with each serving. These chickens are kept in crowded conditions, are given genetically engineered soy and corn, and are injected with hormones that store fat deposits, especially in the breast meat. Things get worse when you put it on the grill. High-heat grilling forms heterocyclic amines, compounds that are strongly linked with colon and pancreatic cancer. In a 2023 Environmental Health Perspectives article, elderly individuals who ate 3 or 4 times a week grilled factory-raised chicken breast had nearly 1/4 higher rates of elevated liver enzymes and over 1/3 higher levels of systemic inflammation markers, including interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein, 2 powerful inducers of aging. You don't need to eliminate chicken completely. Instead, choose pasture, raised organic chicken and bake or slow cook it, not grill it. Never eat burnt parts, and don't microwave grilled chicken, which concentrates lethal oxidative compounds. Say hello to Harold, a 66-year-old diabetic from Michigan. He thought his grilled chicken breast at lunchtime was safeguarding his blood sugar, until his physical therapist commented that his joints were getting more and more inflamed. "You could be burning something that is not helping," she said with a laugh, then revealed how factory-farmed chicken and charred cooking techniques produce hidden toxins. That evening, Harold looked it up for himself and was amazed at what he discovered. He moved to organic chicken thighs, low and slow baked. In 6 weeks, his ALT decreased from 72 to 38. And his energy came back in a roar. But now, let's move to the most lethal meat of all of them. They sell it as gourmet and heart-healthy, but in your body it can be causing havoc that cannot be undone. Before we proceed, if you enjoyed this video until now, hit the like button so other seniors can watch it too. and subscribe. We are uploading solid senior health advice on a daily basis, and you would not wish to miss the next one. Number 1. Veal, especially organ meats. Veal, since it is meat from young cattle, is famous for being very tender, luxurious, and high in protein. But this is the hard truth. In a 2022 study published in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences, older adults who ate high heme iron foods like veal more than weekly experienced a 31% accelerated rate of cognitive decline and almost a 50% increased risk of uric acid buildup that would have to be treated with medication. And if that is not sufficient, most veal calves are confined in cages and fed iron deficient diets to keep their meat pale and tender, which means you are eating a concentrated, metabolically stressed animal product. If you have been told that veal is safe in moderation, here is the truth. After 60, moderation won't work. Don't eat it at all, especially liver, kidneys, and heart cuts. Instead, go for minuscule portions of adult grass, fed beef, or better yet, transition to fish or clean-sourced poultry. Meet Dorothy, a 74-year-old piano teacher from Pennsylvania. She had been eating veal cutlets and liver every week, believing that they made her strong. But after she began experiencing pain in her toes and was constantly tired, her chiropractor handed her a brochure on high purine meat and uric acid overloading. The word veal was highlighted in red. She was amazed. That night, she emptied her freezer. In weeks of ditching veal, her uric acid dropped from 8.2 to 6.0, and the stiffness that had been plaguing her hands and feet stopped. Now, are all meats bad? Absolutely not. In fact, some of them are so good they can reverse joint damage, enhance memory, and protect muscles as long as you choose the right ones. Next is a meat that is often neglected because it is seen as old-fashioned. But for older people, it may be one of the best anti-inflammatory proteins available. Number 4. Lamb meat. Lamb appears to be overlooked when people talk about healthy meats, especially in the United States. However, this underused protein can be a powerhouse for the elderly, as long as it is grass-fed, compared to grain-finished red meats. Grass-fed lamb is full of conjugated linoleic acid, an inflammation-suppressing fatty acid that boosts immune function and retains lean muscle mass as you age. It is also a good source of vitamin B12 and zinc, which are required to fix nerves, make red blood cells, and maintain clear mental focus, especially after the age of 60. And unlike beef, lamb will not as easily be produced on factory farms heavy with hormones and antibiotics, especially when pasture-raised. In a 2022 British Journal of Nutrition study, older adults who ate grass-fed lamb 3 times per week for 6 weeks experienced a 19% increase in lower body strength and a 27% reduction in pro-inflammatory markers like TNF-alpha. Better still, they experienced a 12% boost in HDL, the good cholesterol that keeps arteries open. For the best advantage, always look for 100% grass-fed or pasture-raised on the label, and avoid anything grain-finished. Slow roast it or braise it with herbs, such as rosemary and thyme. They not only provide flavor, but also counteract oxidative stress generated by cooking. Meet Walter, a 70-year-old Colorado woodworker. Having endured several years of pain from arthritis, he mentioned his stiffness to a church friend, who offered him a jar of homemade lamb stew and stated, "Try this, it cured my knees." Walter was curious, so he took a chance and then purchased grass-fed lamb from a nearby farmer's market. In 2 months' time, his CRP decreased from 5.4 to 2.1 milligrams per liter, and he no longer needed afternoon analgesics just to be able to stand around the workshop. Next up is a fish so powerful that physicians now prescribe it as a form of nutritional therapy for memory, mood, and even joint repair. Number 3. Sardines packed in water or olive oil. These tiny, oily fish are power-packed. Sardines are one of the most overlooked superfoods for seniors. They are filled with omega-3 fatty acids, which are the foundations for joint repair, heart protection, and brain health. The unique thing about sardines is that they are small. Because they are small, they don't build up mercury like large fish do. They are also one of the sole natural sources that contain vitamin D, calcium, and vitamin B12 in one serving. Older people also struggle with low vitamin D, which osteoporoses bones, slows thinking, and drains energy. 2 ounces of sardines provide more than 40% of your daily vitamin D needs, and over 300 milligrams of EPA and DHA, the most potent forms of omega-3 for calming inflammation. In a 2023 trial in nutrients, older adults who ate sardines 5 times a week for 8 weeks shaved 17% off their response time, lowered triglycerides by nearly 1/4, and had less joint pain, according to daily diaries. For optimal taste, select wild-caught sardines in water or extra virgin olive oil, never soybean oil. If the taste is too intense, rinse them briefly. Mash with mustard or lemon juice and serve on whole grain crackers or blend into a salad. They're quick, versatile, and surprisingly satisfying. Meet Linda, a 67-year-old Oregon retired school teacher. She heard on the radio one day that a doctor stated sardines were even better than fish oil pills. She was skeptical, but intrigued and bought a can the next day. Having tried them on crackers with mustard, she was hooked. Her triglycerides dropped from 185 to 124 within 3 months, and she noticed clearer thinking, even remembering her grandchildren's birthdays without checking her calendar. And we move on to the next healing meat. This meat is hearty, comforting, and contains a compound in it that most people have never heard of, but your joints are in serious need of it. Number 2. Beef tendon. This is a surprise to most, since it is not hip, not sexy, and easy to ignore since childhood. But beef tendon, the connective tissue enveloping bones and joints, just so happens to be one of the richest natural sources of collagen, glycine, and proline. These amino acids are essential to heal cartilage, reduce joint pain, and improve skin elasticity. As we age, we produce much less collagen. It is due to this that joints stiffen, wounds take longer to heal, and skin becomes thinner. While collagen powders are popular, eating whole collagen containing cuts like tendon gives not only raw collagen but also natural cofactors, like vitamin C and copper that help the body efficiently absorb and use it. In a 2021 Journal of Clinical Rheumatology study, older adults with osteoarthritis who took 60 grams of slow-cooked beef tendon 3 times weekly experienced a 32% improvement in knee flexibility and a 44% reduction in morning stiffness, all within 8 weeks. To prepare beef tendon, cook it slowly with apple cider vinegar, onions, garlic, and turmeric until it becomes gelatinous and tender. The slow cooking breaks collagen down into easy-to-absorb peptides. Drink the broth or enjoy the pieces over rice or root vegetables. Meet Paul, a 75-year-old gardener from North Carolina. At a family dinner, he mentioned his knee pain. His daughter, who was studying holistic nutrition, brought him a jar of homemade tendon broth and said, "It looks weird, but just try it." He was doubtful, but the next morning he noticed less stiffness. Within 2 months of eating tendon stew twice weekly, he no longer needed his knee brace in the morning and could kneel once more when planting in the garden. And now the number 1 meat that every senior must eat. It is great for the heart, builds muscles, sharpens the mind, and boosts metabolism. Yet it is a meat that most seniors don't eat due to one big myth. Number 1. Grass-fed bison or buffalo meat. If you've been avoiding red meat because you are concerned about cholesterol or inflammation, you are not alone. But imagine there was a red meat that not only reduced inflammation, but decreased bad cholesterol as well, and built up the muscles past age 60. That meat is bison or buffalo, and it may be one of the most healing meats on earth. Grass-fed bison is inherently leaner than beef, yet richer in iron, zinc, and selenium. 3 minerals your body is screaming for. after the age of 60 to maintain oxygen circulation, fight infection, and keep the thyroid humming. It is also loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, similar to salmon, but without the fish flavor or mercury danger. In a 2022 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging, elderly individuals who substituted beef with bison 3 times a week had a 34% decrease in LDL cholesterol, a 26% boost in leg muscle strength, and less fatigue after walking, all within 30 days. To get the most out of it, choose grass-fed bison with no additives. Grill, pan, fry, or slow cook it. It tastes somewhat like sweeter beef, but is easier to digest and causes less bloating. Let's now introduce Carol, a 71-year-old retired nurse from Wyoming. She was out shopping at her local farmer's market when she paused in front of a bison stand vendor who had some free samples out. She almost rejected it until the woman spoke up, "Better than beef and easier on your heart." Curiosity got the better of Carol, and she tried it, bought a package, and made chili with it that night. Her cholesterol dropped in a month from 212 to 178, and she was able to walk uphill without having to rest. "I felt like I got 10 years back," she said. For older adults who want all the muscle and brain benefits of red meat without the inflammation, bison is a game changer. Now that you know the truth, not all meats are equal, and at 60 plus, the difference between recovery and damage may come down to one bite. The good news is that now you do have the power to reverse it. Now it is our turn to hear back from you. What is your most eaten meat during a typical week? Will you be making any changes post today's lesson? We're reading and commenting on each and every one of your responses with personalized guidance for your situation. So don't hold back, post your age, where you are from, and what changes you are considering. You might even inspire another member of this community to make a life-saving choice. Thanks for watching.